Hello everybody, thank you for dropping by once more. In between episodes I've found a few things. I've already built a cactus farm which I'll show you in a minute, but right now I want to build a pumpkin farm. This is where my sweet berry farm used to be, but I've decided to repurpose the land. So I've got a 9x9 square of dirt surrounded by birch logs. In the middle there I'm going to put water, and then I'm going to cover that with a slab. The next thing I want to do is to make every other square farmland, and I'm going to make a checkerboard effect, and that's because the pumpkin seeds need to be planted into farmland, and then they'll grow a pumpkin next to them on the normal dirt. Okay, so I get my pumpkin seeds. I've got 24 at the moment, and then I'll just plant them onto the farmland. Now pumpkins do take a while to grow, but you just have to have a bit of patience. So that's 24 pumpkins planted. When I've grown some pumpkins I can get more seeds, make more pumpkins. Okay, up here then is where I've made the cactus farm. So this is my cactus farm. What I like to do is to grow the cactus on top of sand which is a block high, because then what you can do when you're harvesting is you can walk between the rows and you don't get damaged by the cactus. I've already harvested quite a lot of cactus, so what I'm going to do now is destroy the farm, because I'll have lots of cactus already for green dye, and I'll still have a couple of stacks left over if I want to build another cactus farm. So there we are, now we can get on with the rest of the episode. Well, this is where my cow farm is going to be. Basically what I want to do is to have an enclosed barn and a yard and a meat processing and packaging factory. So over here is where the actual factory is going to be. Down this strip is going to be the barn and covered area, and then I'll have a yard here somewhere. So for today I think we'll just get on and build the meat processing factory, because then we'll have lots of lovely steak to eat, and then I'll build up the rest of the barn and the yard in the next episode. I've done some work detailing the outside of the building. So first of all, I took the bottom log out and put in a composter, and I've also added some dark oak buttons up the sides there. I've just put some slabs projected from the outside of the top of the window just to give it a bit of an arch effect, and added some fences just to make the bottom of the windows pop out a little bit. Basically that's what I've done all the way around. So you can see now what the outside of the building looks like. So now I'll do some work on the inside. I've been doing some preparations in here. I've put in a granite floor and I've also done a few other things. Basically this cow farm is going to be based on a game mechanic known as entity cramming. For cows, if you get 24 cows into a single space, that's the maximum you can have. If you then put any more cows into that space, then one or more of them will die until you get back down to 24. When they die, they leave you the drops, so for cows that's going to be leather and raw beef. So what I'll be doing is getting cows into a single space and then breeding them and then keep breeding them, and each time it goes over 24 I should hopefully be getting some drops. I'll have 6 pods, so it'll be 6 lots of drops each time I go around and breed the cows. I'll show you the preparations that I've done so far and then I'll carry on with the build. I've put in track for a minecart and I'll use a hopper minecart to go under the 6 pods, and that will collect all of the drops and then it will bring them back to a storage system which I'm going to build in a minute. So now I'll put hoppers into the bottom of each of the pods. The next thing I'm going to do is put some dispensers behind the pods. When they're operated, they'll dispense water into the bottom of the pod, which will make the cows jump up and make them easier to feed, and then I can turn off the water and they'll drop back down again. You'll see what I mean later in the video. The dispensers aren't absolutely necessary. You could just put some water in the bottom, but then the cows would be just jumping up the whole time. Now comes the redstone components. I'm going to put a redstone dot which will be activated by a button above it, and then repeaters will go on and activate the other dispensers in turn. Next, I just need a bucket of water in each of the dispensers. Now I'll build up the sides so that each pod is 2 blocks steep. And a final check that the water is still working. So that's it now, it's all ready. The only thing that's missing now is cows. So what I'll do is I'll get 2 cows for each of the pods and then I'll start feeding them up. Using a lead is quite a good way to get the cows into the pods. In fact, it's probably the best way to do it because this can be quite a tricky job. If you're using the lead, then get the hole between you and the cow and just pull on the lead and the cow should go into the hole. If you don't have a lead, you can always just use a bunch of wheat in your hand and that guides the cows. Using the wheat is a bit more tricky because you have to get the cow close to the hole and then try to push it in. If you've got baby cows, then it's much easier because they fit into the hole better. The next thing I'll do is to put a fence over the top of the holes. This just stops the cows from getting forced right out of the top, and it also helps to stop you falling into the hole. Right, so now I've also built the collection system, which is just simply 2 hoppers going into a chest, and I've added a minecart with hopper. So what happens is the minecart goes down under all of the pods, it collects any drops and then it comes back and deposits them into the chest. Over this side I've placed a smoker on top of a hopper going into a chest so that I can cook up any beef that I get. Off camera I've been breeding up the cows a lot, so I think the pods are all fairly full now. So what I'll do is I'll breed them again on camera and I'll show you exactly what drops we can get just from one lot of feeding. So there we are, more than a full stack of leather and beef just from one set of feeding. Happy days! Thank you for watching. I'm going to finish this episode here. What I'll do between episodes is build up the outer barn and yard area, and then I'll show you that first thing next episode. In the meantime, please consider subscribing, and if you were to leave me a like on the video, that would help very much. And if you've got any questions, please leave me a comment. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. By order of the Peaky Miner.